In this video, we will be looking at coastal processes. So there are three main processes which take place at a coast: erosion, transportation, and deposition. Erosion is the wearing away and removal of material by a force, such as breaking waves, and there are three types of erosion which take place at the coast. There is hydraulic action, abrasion, and attrition. Hydraulic action is when there are fractures or cracks in a rock. When the rock is pounded by a wave, it causes the air in these fractures to be compressed, putting pressure on the rock. When this process is repeated, it will cause bits of rocks to break away. Abrasion is when waves throw rocks and sand particles at the cliff. This results in scraping and scratching of the cliff. Attrition is when rocks are collided together. This results in the rocks becoming smoother and more rounded as the jagged edges are worn away. Transportation is the movement of eroded material, and at the coast there are three main types. We've got traction, siltation, and suspension. Traction is when large rocks are rolled along. This is because these rocks are too heavy to be picked up by the waves. Siltation is when the rocks or pebbles are smaller, so waves can lift them for a short period of time. Therefore, these pebbles bounce along. Suspension is the movement of the fine material, such as sand. The sand is light enough to be held within the water column whilst being moved. At the coast, material is transported along the beach via the process of longshore drift. The direction of movement is determined by the prevailing wind, which is the main wind direction. As the wave approaches the coast, the swash will carry the material towards the beach at an angle, and the angle is determined by the prevailing wind. As a result of gravity, the backwash then flows back to the sea at right angle to the shore. And this process repeats itself along the coast in a zigzag movement. So the material gets moved along the coast in a zigzag movement. Deposition is the final coastal process. This occurs when there is a loss of energy, which causes material to be dropped and left behind. The amount of material that is deposited in an area depends on two things: how much material is available, and if the material has been transported to that location. Now that you have revised coastal processes, have a go at answering these questions. What are the three types of erosion? What are the three types of transportation? What determines the direction of longshore drift? What causes deposition? Pause the video now before the answers are shown. So the three types of erosion are hydraulic action, abrasion, and attrition. Three types of transportation are traction, siltation, and suspension. The prevailing wind determines the direction of longshore drift, and deposition is caused by the loss of energy.